There comes a point where even the phrase "I am" becomes unnecessary, not because it is untrue, but because it no longer serves a function. Words are tools, and tools are put down when the work is done. What "I am" pointed to has always been closer than language, closer than awareness, closer even than silence. At first, "I am" felt like an anchor, a way to step out of thought, a reminder of something timeless beneath the noise. But now, there is no noise to step away from and no anchor to hold. There is only being, not as a state, not as an experience, but as the undeniable fact of existence itself. Nothing needs to be held in place. Nothing needs to be remembered. Nothing needs to be returned to. Life is not drifting away from truth. It never did. Notice how effortless this is. Breathing is happening without reference. Seeing is happening without a seer. Listening is happening without someone inside receiving sound. The body moves, responds, rests, and functions without consulting an identity. And all of this is happening without strain. This is what it means when life is already complete. Not complete because it reached a conclusion, but complete because it was never incomplete. The sense of incompleteness belonged to a story about a self moving through time, missing something, trying to arrive. That story has quietly lost its authority. Now, even the question, "Who am I?" feels out of place. The question assumes an answer is needed. But what you are does not require definition. Definition limits. What remains here has no edges. You are not resting in "I am." You are not repeating "I am." You are not identifying as "I am." "I am" simply is, without emphasis, without focus, without attention. This is why nothing special seems to be happening. The mind expects fireworks, transformation, or a permanent feeling of peace. Instead, it encounters normalcy, ordinary moments, simple functioning. And yet, beneath that ordinariness, there is an unshakable ease, not happiness, not bliss, but the absence of inner conflict. Life no longer feels like something you are inside of. It also does not feel like something you are watching. The distinction between inside and outside has softened. Experience is no longer divided into me and what's happening. There is just happening. This does not mean passivity. Action still occurs. Choices are made. Words are spoken. Boundaries exist. But none of it is burdened with psychological ownership. Action does not turn into identity. Earlier, effort was required to let go. Now letting go is no longer needed because there is nothing being held. Earlier, surrender felt like something you did. Now surrender is simply the absence of resistance. Even the sense of spiritual responsibility dissolves. You no longer feel you must stay awake, stay present, or stay aligned. Those concerns belong to a phase where something could still be lost. Here, nothing is at risk. Truth does not depend on vigilance. This is also where comparison ends. There is no sense of being ahead or behind. No sense of depth versus shallowness. No sense of having arrived somewhere others have not. Comparison requires a self-image. That image has faded. What remains is deeply human and completely impersonal at the same time. You still laugh. You still feel. You still care. But none of it defines you. None of it sticks. Even mistakes lose their charge. They are corrected naturally without self-judgment. Learning happens without shame. Growth happens without ambition. There is movement, but no pressure behind it. This is not a withdrawal from life. It is full participation without self-reference. You are not hiding in silence. Silence moves with you into sound, into activity, into relationship. And through it all, there is a quiet recognition that nothing needs to be managed at the level of being. Problems may appear at the level of form, and they are handled there. But being itself is never threatened. This is why the search ends here, not because it succeeded, but because it is no longer relevant. Searching was based on the assumption that something essential was missing. that assumption has quietly dissolved. There is no final insight to announce, no conclusion to draw, no teaching to summarize. Life is simply being what it is. I am not as a thought, not as an affirmation, not as an identity, but as the silent fact of existence needing no confirmation. And in that, there is nothing left to do.